Let's do this thing. On a Friday afternoon after my visit to a Hunter senior at Axo Hospital, I checked the time and realized that Zayne should be getting off work right now. I haven't made any plans for this weekend yet. Maybe I can ask if he'd like to play kitty cards again. Reflecting on it, I recall that Zayne played kitty cards with me at the Cat Cafe when we hung out last time. As I walked past the garden in the hospital's inpatient area, a child's cries reached my ears, coming from behind the fountain.
I want Mommy and Daddy. Where are they?
Be a good girl, Tanaya. Your mom and dad will come back this evening.
I want to see them right now.
I could do that too. Next to the fountain, a young girl aged only 5 or 6 is wailing in Yvonne's arms.
What happened?
Dr. Zayne, are you just walking around the hospital as a cat?
Dr. Zayne, Tanaya's parents missed the visiting hours at noon and could only come here this evening.
I see.
He's got a big fluffy tail. Zayne crouches down before Tanaya, gently pulling down her hands that are rubbing her eyes.
Tanaya.
Tanaya's wailing soon turns into sobbing.
Dr. Zayne, I want Mommy and Daddy.
I'm so sorry. If I was crying because my parents weren't there to see me in the hospital and a giant cat man approached me, it's over. Pull the plug. Haha. I don't think Zayne has ever failed in soothing a child. Hold on a sec. Am I seeing things? As Zayne calms Tanaya down, I notice in his hair are...
Fluffy cat ears.
Tanaya, check your watch. When the shorthand passes 3 more numbers, your mother and father will arrive at the hospital. They'll be here soon.
Oh dear. Zayne's tone remains patient and gentle, but it doesn't seem like Tanaya heard him. Those fluffy ears capture all her attention. Her gaze is filled with curiosity, and her expression displays an eagerness to touch them.
Dr. Zayne, can I touch your cat ears, please?
She speaks as he reaches out her little hand, trying to touch those intriguing furry ears. Unexpectedly, Zayne dodges the little hand by slightly tilting his head. He looks cute. Once I return to Zayne's office with him, his shift is over. He tidies up his desk and then looks up to meet my gaze. Thought you'd be shocked to see me after that checkup. You're not even surprised.
You should try hiding farther away next time.
His tail. Guys, look at his tail. How? I was crouching. Tommy got x-ray vision while I wasn't around.
I heard you.
Oh, right. I want to tell you something. Those cat ears look so realistic.
These are real.
What? How? I thought... As I inch closer, wanting to confirm how authentic Zayne's cat ears are, he moves away.
You think they were props from our hospital to soothe children?
I mean, I was hoping.
Anyway, I don't just have cat ears. There's also a tail.
Oh, honey, we noticed. Hidden by his white lab coat. Hidden? Hidden by his white lab coat, a big fluffy tail sways. Whoa, you even have that? So what happened? It's only been a few days. How did Dr. Zayne become Dr. Kitty? I will only be referring to Dr. Zayne as Dr. Kitty from now on. Dr. Uncle Grandpa Kitty.
I've thought about it, and the only logical explanation involves our last visit to Meow's cafe.
Are you up for another round? I'm feeling lucky today. Let's keep the momentum going.
All right, we can do that. It's already dark. Still want to play?
If I didn't have a mission tomorrow morning, I'd go head to head with you until midnight.
If you are still not satisfied, we can do this another time.
I remember our intense kitty card games from that day. Zayne and I were evenly matched. Both of us had our share of wins and losses. Our game raged on until the Evol kitties at the cafe were all worn out, yet both Zayne and I were unwilling to give up. I was about to praise Axo Hospital for their exceptional care and support for young patients. Next time I'll think twice before messing with those kitties. Who knew such adorable little creatures could hold a grudge?
Those kitties worked very hard that day. They probably wanted to vent their frustration.
Is there anything we can do? Or will you be stuck like this forever?
When I first became like this, I found out my evol was being suppressed. But over the past few days, I've noticed signs of recovery. Perhaps after this weekend, I'll wake up to find myself fully recovered.
But what if you don't?
I'll request to be transferred to pediatrics.
Suddenly, bird chirping resounds outside the window. Ooh, is he gonna go chase a cat? Or chase a bird? Zayne's cat ears perk up and his gaze swiftly shifts to the window in curiosity. However, much to his... Why they gotta use words? I don't know. The birds fly away, seemingly alerted by his presence. Zayne, who's normally composed and serious, resembles an irritated big cat. I can't help but burst into laughter. So you don't just look like a cat. Even your habits are similar to a cat, huh? Do you want me to buy you cat treats and canned food? Zayne flicks my forehead. I'll take that as a yes.
Thanks, but I'll pass.
Okay.
Unfortunately, life has become more troublesome since I became like this.
For example, you feel sleepy during the day, but you're wide awake at night. If a furball passes by, do you crave to chase after it?
I do.
Are you always on high alert even when you hear the faintest of noises?
Correct.
You really like a cat. No, you're absolutely a big kitty cat now. Appearing somewhat exhausted, he pinches the bridge of his nose. Everyone knows cats are experts at enjoying themselves, so... So you're a cat now, Dr. Zayne. Don't be too hard on yourself. Let me be your caretaker this weekend, all right? In front of me, you can fully embrace your feline nature. You can chase all the fur balls you want or gorge yourself on dried fish.
It sounds like someone wants to live out her dream of having a cat.
Well, that's not the only reason. He crosses his arms in anticipation of my next words, and his big tail sways behind him. You suddenly turn into a cat. I can't help but feel a little bit responsible.
Just a little bit?
Anyway, I'm serious, so we can try and see how it goes.
All right. I'll leave my weekend in my caretaker's hands.
Oh my goodness. With our caretaking agreement in full effect, Zayne proceeds to put on his coat. He even grabs a hat from the rack to cover his cat ears. No need to hide them. From now on, you should embrace your feline nature with perfect dignity from now on. He hesitates only for a moment before putting away the hat. Suddenly, the sound of hurried footsteps echoes outside the door, causing Zayne's cat ears to perk up and twitch vibrantly. As I recall the scene where he tenderly comforted Tanaya, not confronted. He's not out there trying to throw hands with children. I can't help but wonder what it'd be like to touch those cat ears. Feeling an itch in my palm, I reach out to him.
Is there anything else?
Dr. Zayne, can I touch your cat ears? Please? I'm not judging. Just one stroke. I promise I won't get greedy.
No.
Humbled. He said absolutely not, weirdo. Get out. No again? I recall the times I wanted to cuddle with aloof cats and how they would turn their heads away, showing reluctance. What's happening right now is no different. Let me touch your ears, Dr. Zayne. Let me touch your ears, Dr. Zayne. The next day, I slowly awaken, momentarily dazed as I gaze at the ceiling of my bedroom. However, a sudden realization causes me to quickly sit up. It's already 10 a.m. I promptly jump out of bed and rush out of the room. This isn't good. My first day as a caretaker, I've already failed my duties. Zayne must be done with his morning routine of going for a run, eating breakfast, and catching up on the news. Oh, God. Dr. Zayne, where did you go? Zayne's shoes and coat are still by the entrance. The TV isn't turned on either, as if no one has been there. In the dim guest room, Zayne is sleeping quietly, wrapped up in a soft blanket. After turning into a cat, even his daily routine has changed quite a lot. Poke.
What time is it?
Just a few hours later than your usual wake-up time. Zayne pauses momentarily before trying to sit up, despite not being fully awake. Don't move. I quickly press down the blanket, leaving him no choice but to lie back down again.
Why would there be a rule against getting up?
Cats spend 70% of their lives sleeping. Mastering the art of lounging in bed is key to relaxing like a cat, so indulge your sleepiness. As the words lounging in bed and sleepiness reach Zayne's ears, a subtle bewilderment flickers across his face. You don't know how to lounge in bed, Zayne.
I'm not particularly good at it. However...
Zayne suddenly pulls me onto the bed, curling his body around mine like a cat seeking comfort and affection from his owner. I'm spooning Zayne as a cat. Lovely.
Does the cat code have a rule against lounging in bed with the caretaker?
I don't think so. They say pets have a way of influencing their owner's habits. If I become lazy, should I let you take the credit for that?
Lounging in bed with a cat can't be considered laziness.
He uses his chin to rub the top of my head, then moves to nuzzle my neck. The ticklish sensation almost tempts me to push him away, but I can't bring myself to nudge aside this drowsy, affectionate big cat. Since I'm lounging in bed with you, can I touch your ears?
I'll give it some thought.
His body radiates warmth, matching the cozy temperature beneath the blanket, gradually lulling me back into a sleepy state. Well, looks like I won't get much done this morning. Cuddling a cat really is a human's downfall.
Lounging in bed with a human makes a cat happy. You also smell nice today.
Thank you. I smell like catnip. Meow. As soon as those words are spoken, I hear Zayne's steady breathing behind my ear. His cat ability to quickly fall asleep is actually good for Zayne. I wonder if his dream is filled with delicious dried fish right now.
Today, I'll show you how to make the best macarons.
Great!
First, we need to add almond flour and powdered sugar to...
I'm standing by the kitchen counter following a video to learn how to make macarons. Every now and then, my big cat, with nothing better to do, strolls in to glance around, maintaining his nonchalant demeanor and sauntering back out as if nothing has happened. When he enters my kitchen for the third time, patrolling around, I can't help but laugh. Are you patrolling your kingdom, your meowjesty? But this is my place if I remember it correctly.
This and that have my scent. Why can't this place be considered my territory?
Put a ring on my damn finger, Zayne. You could come over. So what you're saying is, as long as something or someone has your scent, they're all yours.
For cats with a strong sense of territory. That is correct.
Zayne approaches me and sniffs a few times. I like that they've given Zayne a little more angst. He gets very jealous, and I'm into it.
You're all mine.
Okay. I observe his serious expression as something soft wraps around my waist. Looking down, I see his fluffy tail. I have macarons to make and no time to argue with a kitty cat. At the mention of the word macaron, the big cat's eyes seem to sparkle with excitement, prompting him to move aside obediently.
After adding some salt, let's swift it. We know how sweet macarons are.
My attention returns to the ingredients in front of me.
Add another spoonful of sugar.
Bleach, not the zero. I follow the instructions from the video to the letter. Adding another spoonful would make it too sweet.
If I'm not mistaken, these macaroons are for your cat, no? Cats aren't particularly sensitive to sweetness. So, you should add a bit more.
Really? While I add another spoonful, I glance at the yellow almond flour, perplexed as it becomes nearly obscured by the sugar.
It probably still needs more. You can add another.
Is this a request from the cat or Zayne?
Cats are solitary creatures. Without sweets to lift their spirits, they'll feel quite unhappy.
But how am I supposed to eat these macaroons?
I'll eat.
Observing his serious expression, I defiantly add 2 more spoonfuls of powdered sugar, vigorously stirring the ingredients while glaring at him. Kitty Zayne, you'd better make sure you can handle these sugary macaroons. Going to the vet can put a dent in your caretaker's wallet. He's a doctor! Take his money! After dinner, daylight still lingers. Zayne sits by the window, closing his eyes to rest. His big tail occasionally swishes around behind him. I walk over hoping to touch it, yet the tail skillfully evades my hand. Hey, don't be so stingy.
Now you want to play with your cat?
No comment. I see what's going on now. Someone's holding a grudge because I didn't play with him in the kitchen earlier. Hey, yo, wait, what?
I'm not.
By the way, there's a mall that just opened nearby. Since you rarely get a day off, would you join in on the fun and take a relaxing stroll?
Is it time for a post-meal catwalk? But with me looking like this, am I joining in on the fun? Or just becoming the fun for others to gawk at?
Why do you sound so anxious?
I still remember being surrounded by a group of children.
Recalling the scene at the hospital yesterday, I can't help but copy and paste a dozen Tanayas in my mind who have Kitty Zayne surrounded.
So these days, I can only shuttle back and forth between home and the hospital.
It turns out that it's not only the feline behaviors that trouble Zayne, but also the challenges arising from people's affection for cats. Although I can't fully understand how you feel. Ooh, you have a caretaker today, you'll end up sad and sick. Today is different because you're a cat with a caretaker.
I've heard this mall has 2 entire floors dedicated to children's areas.
Leave it to me. No one can snatch my Kitty Zayne away. With a firm nod, I seize the opportunity to catch the big tail, making a solemn vow.
You don't need to treat this as a life or death situation. However, do keep me safe.
Okay, Dr. Zayne. I'll keep you safe, honey. Surprisingly, this newly opened mall isn't crowded. Ooh. A charismatic young man wearing a butler uniform and cat ears energetically distributes flyers at the entrance of a pet cafe.
We just opened. Fancy taking a look?
I was kind of hoping the cat-eared butler was going to be Silas, I won't lie to you.
Cat-eared butlers at your service. And there are cats rolling over and showing off their tummies.
With great enthusiasm, he hands me a flyer and a cat wand as part of their giveaway. Zayne, they have cats that show off their cute tummies. Zayne takes the flyer from my hand and casts a glance at all the cats that are on it.
Shall we go inside?
Hell yeah! Let's. Just as I'm about to respond, I notice his ears tilting downward and his eyes slightly narrowed as he looks at me. Let's check out the other stores.
Aren't you curious about the cats with their cute tummies?
I want to see your cute tummy, Zayne. I scratch the chin of the big kitty Zayne beside me. Since I brought my cat with me today, I'll pass. He hands the flyer to me.
Give this back to him. The next pet lover will need it.
Silas one was good. Thankfully, there aren't a lot of people in the mall. Zayne doesn't get surrounded by kids. In the men's section, a suit displayed in the shop window of Mr. Selfdom catches our eyes. Hold on. The suit kind of looks like what Butler was wearing.
I'll try it on.
Zayne's gaze lands on the suit, similar to a butler's outfit.
Many caretakers are keen on dressing up their cats. Am I wrong?
The store's decor exudes a luxurious ambiance, and the fitting room is exceptionally spacious and adorned with expensive furnishings. Since Zayne entered the fitting room with that suit, Silas has enveloped the surrounding area for a few minutes. Zayne, are you done?
Yes, I am.
You better look hot.
Could you come in and check it for me?
Gladly. If I may say so myself, Dr. Zayne, you looking fine, said A. I walk into the fitting room and find Zayne standing before a full-length mirror. In the mirror, the impeccably tailored... I can't read! In the mirror, the impeccably tailored suit drapes flawlessly accentuate his figure, as if it were made specifically for him. Now I finally understand why people are into dressing up their cats now.
I'll admit, I look more like a butler with this.
I'm gonna touch your ears. I take out the cat one from earlier and gently tap his furry cat ears. Other people's cat ears are fake, but yours are real. My kitty Zayne is winning big time.
Just now, a certain caretaker reluctantly gave up on visiting that cafe. I wanted to tell her that one can have both a cat and a butler.
Okay. After those words escape Zayne's lips, he pauses before leaning in closely toward my neck. What's wrong? I step back and wave the cat wand in front of Zayne.
This scent.
At the same time, our gazes fall onto the cat wand in my hand.
There's some catnip in it.
Zayne can't resist inching closer, and in response, I slowly step backward, holding the cat wand. So do you like it or not? Oh!
Do you know what this cat likes most?
I want to say it, but it's not appropriate for the internet. I'm gonna keep that comment to myself. Catnip or a cat wand?
Neither. He likes his owner more than anything else.
Okay, Dr. Zayne! You made my shoe come off.
Looks like someone hasn't forgotten about touching my ears. The cat won't fulfill all your requests.
What does that mean?
It hurts.
Help me put on this shoe.
All right. At your service, my lady. Your hands, they still smell like catnip.
They do?
This is how I express my affection.
Okay. Let me express my affection. Mind your business. Besides affection, I'm curious, do cats also feel possessive towards their owners?
Of course. Just like this. What this gesture means is, this is mine.
pulled it back, so smash. The warm afternoon sun casts a drowsy glow over everything. On the couch, I find myself lying sideways, eyelids heavy, nearly tiptoeing into dreamland. Zayne silently approaches me. With my eyes closed, I roll over, surrendering to his warm embrace. The blanket that had fallen to the side is gently lifted and envelops us, cocooning the warmth between our bodies. Is my cat cuddling with me, or is my butler taking good care of me?
Both.
The next moment, I feel Zayne poke my face. I open my eyes abruptly and catch sight of the ice crystal perched on his fingertip. It's cold. Wait, you can use your evol now?
Not fully recovered yet, but it won't take long.
The cat ears atop his head and the cat tail trailing behind him remain intact. I clench my fist and extend it toward him as if I'm holding a microphone. Well, someone's about to stop being a cat soon. Care to share any thoughts on your brief cat life?
It turns out that eating, playing, and sleeping are very important for cats. I'd like to thank my caretaker for giving me a happy cat life.
You're welcome. Oh. I didn't even read that. I was just saying that. Here's the thing. Your caretaker still has a teeny tiny wish. I hope that it can be granted before a certain tender-hearted cat disappears. Girl, I swear if you said, "Can I touch your ears?" A warmth spreads throughout my hand. Zayne is holding it. In his embrace, I look up. The sunlight streams in behind him, its gentle glow carefully obscuring his gentle expression. Dr. Zayne, can I touch your cat ears? Please!